I'll just repeat that part again. One of the reasons for why hypnotherapy is so useful when preparing for an exam is because oftentimes when we're recalling information, when we have to, in a timed environment, remember something, that anxiety and that pressure is exactly what keeps us from remembering in the first place. So I'm sure this has happened to you many, many times where you're having a discussion with friends and someone is trying to remember the name of an actor or musician or some type of ingredient they used when they were cooking last week, and it's just on the tip of their tongue, but because they're pressured to remember what it is, it totally leaves their mind, right? So the truth is, everything you've ever experienced, everything you've ever heard, seen, smelled, tasted, there is a memory and a record of all of this stored in your subconscious mind. So I've had clients come to me for a hypno-coaching session so they can find misplaced items. I had someone come to me because she lost her diamond ring. She had put it somewhere to keep it safe and could not for the life of her remember where she put it. So she came to me for a hypno-coaching session and we did a regression and she remembered exactly where she was and she went home and she called me screaming with joy. I'm so happy I found it, thank you. So that's one thing. Test recall is even easier. It's even easier to do. You simply need to be in a focused and relaxed state, which is what hypnosis is, a focused, relaxed state. And if you're in this focused, relaxed state while studying, while taking in the information, it tends to come in a more organized way. So you could think, for example, perhaps your subconscious mind, when you're looking for the right answer, feels like someone took a piece of paper with a memory on it and threw it into a storage closet. And you need to go in there and sift through everything in order to find what you're looking for. That's what happens oftentimes when you're cramming and you pull an all-nighter and you're hopped up on caffeine. You go into the storage closet of your mind and everything you need is in there, but it's just a mess and you're just sort of grabbing at straws. Whereas if you're studying in a focused, relaxed state, the information goes in. It's almost like there's a little librarian there who takes that information and just files it away. So that the next time when you need to retrieve that information, you can just go into your subconscious mind, say, this is exactly what I need, please. And the librarian goes in and finds it for you and provides you with the information. So staying present while taking the exam, staying present while preparing for the exam, these are all ways in which you can set yourself up for even greater success. And what's even more important about this is often when we cram, which is what I spent too much of my college career doing, you forget, right? It's in there, but now it's so buried and it's not something that you're using on a regular basis, so it gets notched down in order of priority, which means it goes deeper down in your subconscious mind. One of the best ways to study is to enter into this focused, relaxed state and to focus for just 20 minutes. You read for 20 minutes or you study for 20 minutes. You do your flashcards for 20 minutes and then you take just a little break. You don't have to go do anything drastic, but you can just get up, maybe walk around the library, walk around your apartment or your home, take one loop around the block, take a couple sips of water, giving your mind and your brain some time to absorb what it just read. And then you go back. Then at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you very briefly review everything that you've already studied. And by briefly, I mean you can literally take whatever it was that you were studying intently in 20-minute segments. And you can take it and just scan like this quickly. Because your subconscious mind will be able to pick up on what you spent that focused, intentional time doing simply by scanning it. Then the next morning when you wake up, your mind and your body had even more time to integrate, to calibrate what you learned the day before. And you want to notch that up in order of importance. So before you start a new topic, you can skim again. Just skim over everything that you did the day before. You can also ask yourself pointed questions about the reading that you did the day prior. So when you first wake up in the morning, you can do a little quiz for yourself. What was it? What were the 3 main points that were important for me to retain after all of the work that I did yesterday? So write those down, and then as you're skimming, just notice when you come to those 3 main points. It's all about focused, relaxed, intentional work, broken up into segments where the mind can most readily absorb that information, and then reminding your brain what's most important to you through repetition. So in this way, starting to prepare for an exam early, the earlier the better. And even though I know this is the truth, that this is the case, I tend to be somebody who does everything last minute because I really thrive on deadlines. And I really thrive when there's a little bit of pressure. So if you're anything like me, and the suggestion to start studying early is kind of like, oh yeah, that sounds good, it's never going to happen. Just know that these same techniques work in a short period of time. Of course, you just give your brain more time to absorb and calibrate and put things in order when you start earlier. So if you are cramming, if you find yourself in a situation where there isn't a whole heck of a lot of time, you certainly can do the same thing. All throughout the night when you're cramming, you put all of the information that you're absorbing in order of importance. You break the studying time up into 20-minute increments, taking just short mental breaks in between those 20 minutes. Even if it's just a minute or 2. Even if you just do a minute-long hypnosis session, that would be great. Or a minute-long meditation, just to give your mind a break. And then that next morning when you wake up before the exam, make sure that you run through everything you studied the day before, even if it's as quickly as literally scanning. All right? So we're going to get started with the actual hypnosis in just a moment. And we'll get started with that at noon, and then from 12:15 until 12:30, I'll be here chatting some more. And I see that Klaus, he wrote in that you too. So does that mean that you also are always cramming? You do things at the last minute? That's definitely how I've always operated. And part of me really wishes that that hadn't been the case in college, but I live in the present moment, so. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start getting all of my other little areas of recording set up.